Thanks, Bree. Well, now that we are in April, it looks like the spring weather is finally here. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with the high of 51. Saturday will be the perfect day for athletics, the high being 60. Sunday looks mostly sunny with the high of 59. On Monday, there are showers in the forecast, the high also being 59. Tuesday's high is 58 and Wednesday's is 54. Next Thursday will be sunny and 53. Back to you.
Thanks, Katie. With the warm weather moving in and spring now in full season, the men's tennis team, as young as they are, seem very prepared for what this season brings. Check out this week's episode of Inside the Pride and what the men's tennis team has to say. Welcome back to Inside the Pride. I'm Bree Hill. This week we highlight the Springfield College men's tennis team. The young squad consists of one senior, Captain Joe Gianelli, and boasts 3 freshmen in the 6-man singles rotation. The Pride recently played in Hilton Head, South Carolina on spring break and saw success, winning 3 matches. Head coach Toby Coffin believes that experience will help the young team take on tough competition in the NUMAC.
It's always difficult coming into the season or challenging with that many freshmen, but again, it gives you an opportunity to start over, and that is a positive. We got some really good recruits in the freshman class, and our top 3 right now in the ladder are all freshmen, our 1, 2, and 3 singles.
It's almost like a fresh start. Everybody's like working really hard. You know, I mean, it showed like on spring break that everybody's really wants what's best for the team. So I mean, there's no biases from any players. Everybody's pushing each other. So that's really what the makeup's all about.
Joe as a leader is probably one of the best leaders I've had in the last 3 years as captain. He sets great examples. He's considerate, and he listens to everybody's concerns.
The fact that I'm the only senior on the team, I mean, I've had a lot of experience the last 4 years, so I try to share that experience, you know, the best I can, especially with the freshmen. But I mean, just because we have a young team, I mean, doesn't mean they lack in any skill, because they push me to be better on the court too. So.
I think it's safe to say that we had a great 4 matches there. You know, I saw a lot of good things. You know, they had a great motivation, and then they, you know, based on my understanding, they knew what they needed to do. You know, they competed really well, and then I think we had a really success so far.
A lot of good successes on spring break. We went 3-1. The toughest opponent we played was Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Even though we didn't win that match, it got us prepared for NUMAC competition. So, you know, going forward, you know, we want to use spring break for NUMAC competition, so we got a good balance of both, tough competition and wins, so we can gain confidence. So, and that's what spring break should be used for.
I think it showed that we're going to be a huge contender in the NUMAC this year. We came in sort of like unsure because we had such a young team, how we were going to compete against some of the bigger teams. But I mean, we went 3-1, and I think we really proved ourselves that we can compete with some of the big teams in the NUMAC.
The NUMAC conference every year is very, very tough. It's probably one of the top conferences in the country when it comes to tennis. And competing against MIT, Wheaton, and Babson is always a challenge for us. Which is good, because in the long run, because we have a young team, you know, not only this year but in the future, playing against competition like that will only make our players better. So we're fortunate to be playing in the NUMAC conference because the teams are that good.
The program's definitely going in the right direction. I mean, the fact that everybody's so young and we're already having such great success just says so much about the team and like where it's going to end up, especially in the next few years. We also have like a few good recruits that are interested in the school, so we're definitely headed in the right direction.
Men's volleyball will host 4 teams on Friday and Saturday in the Springfield College Invitational, including 2 that are ranked top 10 in the country. Be sure to come out and show your support. As always, follow Springfield College Athletics on Twitter for the latest scores and updates. Thanks for watching. I'm Bree Hill. Roll Pride. During our last episode, our very own Connor Getz and Nick Levitt teamed up for a video game review, and this week the dynamic duo returns. Connor and Nick are back this week with a review on NBA 2K14. Following their review, Kyle Pegolo gives us the lowdown in entertainment news.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Nick Lovett. This is Connor Getz. We're usually behind the camera, so you guys get the honor of seeing us in front of the camera. We've been told our whole lives we have faces for radio, but guess what? We're in front of a camera now, so we're going to take advantage of it. Tonight, we're going to be reviewing NBA 2K14 for the Xbox One. It's a great game. So Connor, let's get right into it. You play My GM mode a lot. That's your favorite game mode. Mm-hmm. So just take us through that real quick. We're going to have footage on screen right now of the My GM mode.
Exactly.
So take us through it.
All right, so like you said, there's basically two facets aside from the pick up and play now version. There's the My Player that you play and the My GM that I play. My GM is like franchise or career mode from other games, just with a fancy name. You basically get to control the whole team. It doesn't stick to one player, and you get to do other things in the huddle and at other points of the game, like control your subs, see how much fatigue they have, check on players' injuries, things like that, as well as change strategies. What guy do you want to key in on defense? What do you want your offense to run? Do you want to leak out in transition or crash the glass? Yeah. Things like that. Off the court, it's just as immersive. You have different goals that you need to meet over the course of the season. You meet with the owner a few times, and he gives you certain goals. Trade these players or move this dead weight. Get this many wins over the course of the season. Things like that you are rewarded for, and later on unlock the option to actually purchase the team and become the owner to not have any of those goals. Yeah. So, and as far as they also incorporate business into it, because as you kind of progress your character, there's 50 levels. It's RPG based a little bit, and you take the coin that you earn or the currency, and you add things to your coach, such as trade negotiations, business savvy attributes, things like that better your coach, make teams more likely to agree to trades with you. Gives you the option to change ticket sales, concession sales, things like that affect fan base. It's pretty much the whole immersive experience of being in the NBA just with a controller in your hand.
All right, and I guess I'll take it from there.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm more of a My Player kind of guy. Every sports game that I get, I go career mode right away. I love being able to control that one player. I knew from a young age I wasn't going to be a pro athlete, so this is my one chance. I guess we'll kind of start it with, you guys know what it's like. You're controlling one player, but the differences between the Xbox One version and the current gen versions are actually pretty great.
Yeah.
It's the Xbox One version or the next gen version is a lot more story based. So you get an agent that you actually talk to. He's like your best childhood friend who becomes your agent. He represents you. You have to make personal choices both on and off the court that'll affect your team chemistry. It'll affect your the way your GM perceives you. It'll even affect your playing time. If you start doing like crappy decisions off the court, then you won't play as much because the coach or GM won't like you as much. So I really like it in the sense that they're not just trying to say like, okay, make your guy a 99 overall and just score 70 points a game. They're really trying to make it where you are an NBA star. You're playing through the ranks from your rookie year when you move up from being a role player to the sixth man to the starter, and then you get to become the face of the NBA. Not to brag, but my guy was the MVP of the Rising Stars Challenge. My guy was in the three-point contest, and I actually went through a trade just for this review. I went through a trade. I can tell you that the trade portions of it's actually pretty realistic. You sit down with your GM, you tell him I want to trade. He gives you a couple days to think about it, and then if you still want to trade, then he'll say like, okay, here are the teams that are interested in you. Pick 3 of them. I picked 3. Turns out I got dealt to a completely different team. I'm now the starting point guard of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm sorry, Darren Williams, but whatever. You can be my 6th man. Overall, though, really, really immersive, really great. I'm honestly addicted to it, and this is coming from a guy where I don't watch the NBA. I'm a hockey fan. I'm a hockey fan, which means I'm religiously against the NBA. But honestly, from a non-hockey fan perspective, I can say that this game definitely worthwhile. We'll translate that into what are our likes for this game.
The likes for this game are basically, like you said, it's immersive. We lead off with the graphics. It's next gen. That's obviously the most noticeable thing. You can see the sweat dripping off the guys' faces. You can see their fatigue when they come to the line for big free throws. People in our families have mistaken us playing the game for watching actual real life NBA games.
Yeah.
It's really that good, which the graphics also translate into animations and player tendencies, which are also positives for us. The animations are incredible. Defense has been amped up a lot. Blocks are more realistic. Taking contact as an offensive player is a lot more realistic. And players play as they do in real life based on a lot of their real attributes.
And just to add on to the blocks thing, I'm a point guard in my player, but I third rowed a guy like Benoit in one game, and I never felt more empowered in my life. Like, I rejected that thing into like 4 rows back. I was like, yeah, I just did that.
Hey, you get the timing right.
Yeah.
You give the Dikembe, and it's.
Speaking of rejections, let's move on to the dislikes. This list for the first next-gen basketball game that 2K's put out, this list isn't really that expansive, and the stuff that's on it is kind of nitpicky. My biggest thing is the AI in the My Player mode, where your team's AI, if you pass it to them when they're wide open and they're a three-point shooter, they may not always take it. They drive and get like either fouled or they'll get a contested layup and they'll miss it. And then if they get double-teamed and you're wide open, sometimes they won't pass you and they'll force the shot. And that's something that obviously the video game isn't going to get the true life aspect perfectly.
Exactly.
But it doesn't happen a lot. But when it does, frustrating.
Definitely.
Another thing that for you definitely it was the not being able to do random teams in play now mode. You guys know if you're playing with your friends and you can't, that's the only way to decide what teams are going to be. That not being there really makes it difficult to play with your friends because you always want to punch the other guy in the face for picking the Thunder, picking the Heat. So that needs to come back for 2K15. And the soundtrack's pretty limited, but that's just a nitpicky thing. Biggest thing for me, I think, besides the AI, is in My Player, you're still not able to pick your jerseys. I'm a huge jersey guy. I love alternate jerseys. I love all that stuff. And not being able to change my jerseys for specific games, not being able to wear the alternates. The NBA is a league that's basically based around alternate jerseys. They have the nickname jerseys now. They have T-shirt jerseys. So not being able to pick my jersey for the My Player thing is kind of annoying. I mean, obviously it's a small thing, but I can get over it. It just needs to change. All right, Connor, let's verdict right now. What are we rating this game?
All right, so we come off of Titanfall at an 8.5 to comparing that to 2K, which we're giving an 8. And like you said, a lot of the things that we've come up with negatives are really nitpicky. Like I said about the random team generator, that's only if I'm playing with somebody does that come into effect, and obviously it does weigh heavily. Yeah. But other than that, all of our problems were nitpicky. All of our pros were things that lifted it above the competition. As far as what NBA Live goes, when it's one of its first years back. No competition here whatsoever.
Not at all. All right, so just summing this up, we're giving an 8 out of 10 for 2K's first time ever putting out an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 game. This game's unbelievable. From a non-basketball fan, from a basketball fan, if you have an Xbox One, PS4, get this game. You won't be disappointed. Basketball season goes until June. You'll have plenty of time to play it before it gets old. I guess this is our time's running out from in front of the camera. So we're the nerds. This is Connor Getz. I'm Nick Lovett. We're the video game reviewers. We're the nerds, and now we're out.